Hi all, welcome to Andrea M. D'Souza's kitchen. Today I'm going to teach you one of my favorite cake recipes, and that's a banana walnut cake. Now this recipe is extremely simple, there's not much mixing to be done, not too many utensils or vessels to be used. You can just make it in one bowl and you can have the most delicious soft and moist cake that you would like. I'll also be sharing the recipe of a date and walnut cake and carrot cake after a few days. But right now, you enjoy this banana cake and see how fantastic it turns out. These are the ingredients that I will be using. Now, I have around half a cup of butter, which I had cut into cubes and kept it to melt. So it's softened nicely now. Now, half a cup will be around 50 grams of butter, or maybe just a little more if you'd like. Then I have 1.5 cups of flour. This is the size of the cup that I use, around 150 grams size of the cup. So 1.5 of this cup is the flour. This is maida that I have used. I have 1 cup of chopped walnuts. I had lightly roasted them earlier and then I chopped them into coarse pieces. There are 2 eggs. Of course, for the banana cake, there has to be bananas. So there are 3 bananas here. You can also add 3.5 if you wish. Just around 2 pinches of salt, 2 or 3 pinches, less than quarter of a teaspoon. We don't want it to be too salty because our butter is anyway salty. So very less salt. You can even do without the salt if you like. Then I have vanilla essence here. And I have around 1 teaspoon of baking powder and little around quarter teaspoon of baking soda. Now I'm putting baking soda here because of the banana and the walnuts, but otherwise I don't normally put soda in cake. If you'd like, you can put 1.5 teaspoon of baking powder and do away with the soda, but don't put too much also. So here are the ingredients. Let's get ready. First, what I'm going to do is I'm going to melt the butter. This is a very simple kind of cake. Okay, it's not the traditional one that I told you earlier, the ribbon cake and all. This was just very simple. And oh, I forgot the sugar, so I better remove some sugar also. So here's my sugar. I've taken a little more than half a cup. Now sugar, it also depends on you whether the bananas are sweet. Mostly the bananas are sweet. These are not very overripe. But if you have overripe bananas, then you require less of sugar. And again, it all depends on you also. Some people even do away without the sugar. That's fine. You can do away with the sugar because the bananas anyway will be sweet. Now I'm going to keep this camera down and I'm just going to mix this up till the sugar melts a bit. You can also use powdered sugar if you want. So I'll keep this down. As I was saying earlier, this is a very less hassle cake, not like the other cakes. You can also mix everything together. So I'll just mix these eggs also. You can beat up the eggs if you want, that's fine. So I'll just mix this also up a bit. I've also started lightly mashing the bananas. I won't mash them very fine because I want a little bit of lumpy banana flavor in my cake. So, but at the same time, I don't want the pieces too big. So our banana has been mashed well, and look, this is the egg batter, egg, butter and sugar. Now the sugar has not melted very well because I have used big pieces of sugar, but slowly as we go around mixing the flour and the other things, in a while the sugar will also begin to melt, so there's nothing to be worried about this. And one good thing about this cake is it doesn't require too much of beating, and even with minimal beating you will find you get a nice soft and moist and melt in your mouth kind of a cake. You will see that very soon. I'll also add the vanilla right now itself, all my liquids together. And I'll also add the banana and I'll mix it all. See how good our batter looks. I'll add my walnuts also to this. Fold them in. But now I'm not going to be beating it once I add the walnuts and once I add the flour. I'm just going to fold it in like this. I'm going to add my flour now. The reason I'm sieving it is because I want all this salt and baking powder and baking soda and all to mix well. I don't want any lumps to be formed. I'll keep my phone down and do this, otherwise it will all spill over. The flour has been sieved, so I'm just going to fold this in with a light hand. So here it's done, it's all mixed well. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to take this baking tin of mine and I'm going to put some parchment paper or baking paper on it. Even if you don't have baking paper, it's okay. You can just line your tin with some oil and then dust it with some flour. That will be fine. So I'll go ahead and do this and I'll set my baking tin now. There it is. I'm now going to put it in my oven. So here it is, I've put it in my oven and I'm going to let it bake for around 45 to 50 minutes at 180 degrees Celsius. I've put it on one of the lower stands and later on I will increase the top heat. Right now I'm letting it cook from down, I'm not letting it cook on both sides. Later I'll increase the top heat so that it gets cooked on top also. The reason I'm not increasing the top heat right now is so that my cake rises. So that's the view from my kitchen while my cake is baking. It's beautiful, isn't it? I can stand here the whole day and just look out, but then I have other jobs also to do, so I can't do that too often. But here it is, the view just for you. See what a beautiful color. It's done. Let me see if it comes out clean. There you see my skewer has come out clean. So that means my cake is baked well and it looks good too. Can you see how lovely it looks? And one thing you need to keep in mind is never open the cake in the beginning, because once cold air goes in, your cake is not going to rise and fluff up and become soft. So now since this is done, I'm going to switch off my oven and we'll cut our cake. And you can see outside it's become dark now. 45 minutes ago when I put the cake in the oven, it was so bright, and look outside now. Check out my lovely, lovely cake. And these cakes, date and walnut, banana walnut, they taste fresh and even tastier the next day. And look how it is coming out so easily. Can you see how it's coming out? It's hot, so I will not try now. I'll just wait for a couple of minutes and then I'll remove it out. My beautiful banana walnut cake is ready here. So I'm going to start cutting it and see how well it cuts. Can you see this? And here is a piece you can eat. See how soft it has become? This piece will give you a better idea. See how soft and lovely it has become. It's still very hot, but do try it out and enjoy this lovely cake. Just look at it. It smells even better than it looks right now. There you go. I cannot help but show you again about how soft and moist and spongy it has become. And tomorrow morning, once this color sets in, and it will taste and look even better than it is looking right now. So here's the cake. I can't wait to try it. I'm sure you can't wait to try it too. So do try it out. And I'm looking forward to your calls, your messages, the pictures of the food you send, and all the feedback that you send me. So enjoy this cake and let me know how it turns out. Have a great day ahead.